Hi guys, and today's creative thoughts. I'm sorry if this has come out really early, but I kind of want to talk about. I want to talk about just. This might be a long video actually, so prepare yourself. I'm gonna get ready for bed in a minute, so there might be a jump cut in a second. But I want to just kind of brainstorm a little bit for this video and say I am not happy with web design as a career. I'm not happy with it, even though it's a pretend one, and the business could change this year. We might review it a lot earlier. Once all the big projects are done, once all the major input is, once that's all done. And in fact, there's going to be a video tomorrow. I'm going to do another video tomorrow. And it will just be what I expect of people in the meeting. Plus, there's going to be a talk for MGRX. So, but Mind Mob, we've been going at it for a few years, and stuff like Magic Silver Room, which will just be run as a WordPress blog, and I think the four of us can do that pretty simple. We could do it as a magazine, and we can put what we want in it, and can try and make some revenue off it. But I think kind of listening to your gut and not listening to your heart is one of the things. But another thing is listening to the community. And another thing that I don't really discuss is the castle. So I'm not going to discuss it on this because I will leave that for another time and another week and everything. But I just think that a web design company is it's not just what I feel, it's not just what I want, it's what the community wants, it's what's going to make money, it's what's going to bring it in. We've made lesser money these past 2 years in the company. We've had jobs, we've had some great stuff, but stuff has happened. We've had to let things go, let certain things go. And it also occurred to me when we were at Sutton's Ball, I felt things come down on me really hard with that, because it was when we started advertising through it and the code and everything. I felt, it's not our place to do that. Why couldn't we get someone else to do it? And I don't know. I think that's it. It's something that will never leave them. But then it's like, oh, the business. And I just wanted to, I want to go somewhere where, and have time off and everything. My heart is really in something else, which kind of, I still love tech. I love it, and I think there's a great industry for it. I love all the technologies that happen, but I just kind of need to sort everything out. My head out, all the stuff out, all the paperwork out. And also, we're living in a place where there's high rates. There's no kind of low rates anymore, and you don't really want to be scraping off the things. And also, you want to be able to give other people jobs. Web design, it's like a truck driver. You know, they can go work for anybody. If they've got those skills, they can work for anybody. You know, if you've got coders in there, they can work for anybody. But if you've got other things in there, can they work for anybody? Not necessarily. You create jobs for somebody, they'll come in, they'll work for you. That's fine. And obviously you want to have people coming into your store, you want to have people, and obviously this is something that we want to review, and there will be a video, and we'll talk about it on the 2 weekly vlog as well, which we have, which is kind of a, I don't know, it's not like one of these creative thoughts vlogs, because these are vlogs where we sit down and we talk through what's happening, whereas the 2 weekly vlogs is me walking around. I'm either in the Stepping Stones group, or I've either been swimming, or I've been other places, I'm travelling. I'm actually going to do some videos where I talk about my long cane, street photography. It's all that, you know, all that really good stuff. I even throw a few when I'm doing some photo shoots in the video, because it spreads it out. You know, if it's just me kind of out and about. Whereas I kind of want to focus, there's things I want to focus on this year that aren't really business related. And when it comes down to web design, yeah, there's some great web design and web development out there, but it's a pain in the ass getting people for it. And when you know, freelance, I mean, yeah, the freelance works with every other business. I mean, we've got this other business that I want to set up, or something else that I want to set up. I will still try and keep the people involved that want to be involved, but I think it goes without saying, you know. And also, sometimes, you know, you can have bad business history or whatever. So, an accounts and who you can trust and who you can't trust. You know. So, I mean, it's like the building business. Me and Charles are setting it up again, and I want to talk about my imaginary friend Charles. I've discussed it in the business marriage video, but I just think that Charles, we fell out in business. We didn't just fall out. You know, it wasn't just you know, it took a while for the bombshell to drop. It took a while for things to erupt, and it needed to happen. You know, we left Arnside Road, we'd gone to a new place where creativity could flow a lot better. You know, we had all that space for the creativity to flow, and then suddenly something happened. I mean, it was a case of, oh no, we had to work in that space. And obviously, I'm thinking as well, if I do want to close the web design business and open up to something else, I will probably sell the name and all the ideas I had to Adam, because I think his heart's in it. I know he wants to do, it won't just be a web design business, it'll be something else, but, you know, and he'll have everything, you know, basically he'll have everything on a plate. But for, you know, Andy and Rosemary, who are trying to get some money for properties and stuff like that, I want to go into a different line of field. And I'm saying it here on YouTube, it's very difficult, but I'm going to keep up for a year, I'm going to review early, I'm going to see what happens. It might mean that we go into something different. Because I was discussing with Dad, and I think Dad and Neil want me to go into a different line of business. Because web design, They don't understand it. They don't know the market for it. They don't. And in fact, well, Dad knows about design, and it's like, well, there's hundreds and thousands of web design. Well, design in total. Whereas, could we go into another line of work where we take all those skills, that we've got? Could we? And in fact, could we get more? Could we get more people? Could we get more jobs? Because, like, web design, yes, I might go back into that field another time, another day. If I would love to have a stay-at-home business where I have the colleagues I need. I would love to work online where I've got all the colleagues I need. But that may be in the future. So obviously I've got a job set up, a business I've got to set up for the future. And obviously where it's not so much in demand, well, I'm not saying so much in demand, but it's not, like, I am thinking in the future, if I do get a place of my own in the future or wherever, I'm hoping that, obviously if I do live in a place where there are certain restrictions, if I'm running a business, say, from a bedroom, we'll stoop as low as that, with a desk in the corner, then the business may have to be totally online. And by doing a total online business, where everything's online, where even the people you work with online, then that might be something completely different. And obviously, you've got Facebook, which is it's a bit of a nightmare for this type of work. Social media being, we're working on Instagram, but we're going to have to review the year a lot earlier than planned. And even though we've got some homebrew stuff coming in, even though we've got some great stuff happening, I personally feel that this year alone, we've had not a lot of work coming in. We've had the database stuff coming in, and then we've had a colleague who's asking around, and I want him to just work freelance. I don't think his heart at the moment is in the company, but I don't want to just leave him in the lurch, because he has got ideas of what he wants to do. He's making money out of live streaming. And it's the first time that I've said, I've agreed with live streaming. I don't actually personally agree with live streaming at all. But it could be the case where things do change. But going back to Charles, because Charles worked with me for several years. We're working back again soon. And it hasn't, all my ideas haven't gone astray. I can still work from home. I can still, I've got all that great stuff happening. I've got an empire, but I know that an empire will crumble if, and obviously I dream of a big company. But web design companies aren't as big as people imagine them up to be. The problem with having a big web design company, the problem with a web design company in general, is you buy all the resources, and things go wrong. Now, Charles and I, I'm going back to Charles and I, we worked for several years. And one of the things, obviously I will do a video about Hartside Road in total, where everything went wrong. I might just do some of the comedies. In fact, I'll tell some of the funny stories, a couple of the funny anecdotes in this video. One of them was, we used to have some great fights in the office. Great fights. And Charles, he wasn't just a colleague, he was a friend. He was and even when we didn't see eye to eye in the office, my word, we had some great conversations, We had some great ideas, but sometimes we'd always, you know, and Charles was a man that knew how to get things, you know, but he was a get things done type of character. We worked on the town hall. We did a lot of work, but you know, there was times when, you know, and when we had issues with the bank and all different problems. Jack Anderson, he was a problem. I could do a whole video on Jack Anderson alone. You know, but the one funny story I've got of Charles, the best story I have was when he came in the office, bless his cotton soul. He came in the office one day, and you know, he said, I've received a phone call. I've received a phone call from Tim. Not knowing that Tim was our colleague, and he had a bit of a dozy moment. And I had a bit of a dozy moment. And I was like, well, what does Tim want? Well, he's gone down and bought some tools from somewhere else, and now he's coming here. You know when you have Rodney, your plonker, but I think we were both the plonkers because I didn't clock it. And when I got it, and then Tim walks in the office, and I'm like, oh, no wonder why you've bought tools from somewhere else. And then, you know, and then another time, one of the best stories was because literally we had, it was like, you know, it was closed and whatever. And so basically the office would close, and then, you know, we'd all sort of be done for the night. And this one day, I think we'd been drinking. No, it was a night. We'd been drinking and what have you, and I was getting ready to sell the business. It was going to be sold, and Charles, the very next day, is like, "Why did you sell the business to Colin? He's a right loon, isn't he?" You know, and Colin just walks in the office. You know, it was real. You know, humour. And another time, just one more time that we have. One more little story. You know, we were doing. Basically, the toilet door had been broken, and we wrote numerous reports. Well, there'd been a van parked at the front, right? An insurance letter comes, and I'm thinking, oh no, not it was via email, wasn't via letter. And I'm thinking, oh no, the toilet door. And Daphne, who was married to Charles at the time, said, "Charlie, that van insurance, blah blah." So anyway, that very same day, you couldn't write soap opera about this, gets a phone call from the police saying, "Van's been hit or whatever, it's parked across the drive." And we're like, "Yeah, hello, it's parked across the drive." But Anyway, and one more story, one more little funny story. In fact, this has got nothing. Well, it's got something to do with the business, because just to paint the picture, I'll tell you two little stories to sort of do with the business. One was we were closing. I think, and Colin, who was one of our imaginary colleagues at the time, said, "Is everything all right?" Because he had to go to Geo Warehouse, and he was doing cleaning duties. No, he wasn't. He was doing. He was on deliveries that night, and he was going from here, because there was a Geo Warehouse here, and then he was going from here to Manchester. And he was on, and then he would drive the van back, but he wasn't on vans. He was manning the warehouse and manning the deliveries. So he'd man the depot, and he'd be in the back where our office is now, in the back there, waiting for the vans to come in. And then all the vans would come in, and he would just unload and load. So anyway, he said to us, "Is everything all right?" And we'd be like, "Yes, everything's fine." Oh no, he was going to Manchester that night to do Geo Warehouse there. But he'd start at Southport, and then he was getting picked up at Southport, and then he was going to do some stuff up in Manchester. So we're like, yeah, it's fine, it's all fine, Colin. You go, it's fine. You sure there's nothing you need from me before I go? It's fine, you get off. It's one of them, Colin, go. Please just go. It'll all be fine, right? I was having fish and chips for tea that night, and mushy peas with brown sauce. Right? So tea's out, I'm in the bog, right? And this door was stuck. And this is a door we've been paying insurance on for ages. So I thought, right, I'll break through the wall, right? Because it was like a wooden wall, dead thin wall. I didn't have the strength to go through it. So anyway, Jack, my step-grandad, calls my stepdad, and he comes down and manages to get the door. He managed to get me out of that situation. So later on, I'm in bed, and Colin rings, because he'd ring us on his break. He'd say, "Hey Colin, you'll never guess what happened. I got stuck in the bog after you left." And he's like, I told you so." It's like, and we were like, "Yeah, but we just told you to get off so you wouldn't be late, And then the last story, very last story, something that I'll never forget, and it was an ongoing thing. The heating system, the boiler was years old, I think, centuries old. They had the heating system was, and see, Jack had this thing. The taps would be dead tight, so you couldn't have a bath. They would be like dead tight. And the boiler system, the heating in the front room was whacked up. That's another story, of course. But anyway, this one night I was listening to a CD, and this sound of a drill. And Jack thought that Charles was doing something at the point. He was sat in the room with me, listening to music. And we heard this sound. Anyway, we had all the taps open, and I thought, "Oh, turn the tap off." Went into the office, absolutely flooded. So I'm sat upstairs with all the taps on. We had to have all the taps open all night to stop that sound. It was dreadful, but just that going into a flooded office, and that office was flooded on quite a few occasions. Nothing was done about it, but it was a health hazard. That place we were in was an absolute health hazard. But anyway, Charles and me, we stood together. We managed to stop an industrial estate being built on the back. Oh, crumbs, that was another story. But we stood together through thick and thin. You never know, that industrial estate might reopen. I mean, Jack, luckily at the time, we didn't want an industrial estate. But Jack at the time was like, we're not having an industrial estate around the back here. And, at the time, it would have made us money. Would have made us a lot of money. We would have had a bumbling community. And Travis wanted it, but we didn't. So we weren't all for it in the end. And Travis was like, I could have made you this and I could have made you that. But anyway, so that was one mistake that we did make, one big mistake. And obviously the council were going to have one on the front, and as soon as they started digging a hole, Jack went mad. But then we couldn't have one anyway, because when they measured it, there's all these wrong measurements. So after having factories on the front and warehouses all around and stuff, it never happened. But you realise how amazing things were not and how things were. And now we sort of fast forward. You fast forward to, say, today, where things are changing. I no longer want to be a web design company. I want to be an estate agent, buying and selling houses. You never thought you'd hear me say it. You never thought you'd hear me. I mean, we still want to keep all the resources we've got and keep the people we want. But I think we're going to be reviewing quite soon. And we need to have talks with our landlord, and there's people we need to involve and say, look, do you think we should keep it as web design, or do you think we should have an estate agent? Would be good, because if we have an estate agent next door to a building company, I could be building houses and selling the houses that I build. Well, selling other people's houses, but it'd be great if I sold a house that I built. Be like, oh yeah, I built a house. You'd know everything from the foundations. But I don't know. There's a lot to review and a month to do and so much work to get done. 2 months of pure work and there's still stuff to do within whatever how many months we got. We're going to have a secret meeting as well about the future, about what jobs we can create. But I think my imaginary colleagues / imaginary friends, if they heard this, so Charles, Rosemary, Andy, Adam, Charles, you're ready, that's me. But see, another thing is, Charles doesn't want to be a mechanic anymore. He wants to be a builder, and the mechanic's like the hobby type thing. I'm the same with web design. I want that to be a hobby, but also bring it into the job. If I'm an estate agent, I want to be able to have the look and feel of the brochures, and obviously work with people online. I don't know how big estate agents can go, but it'd be great if I'm selling a flat here and going, oh yeah, you can make adjustments to this, blah blah. I know how to sell your flat if you could have a bedroom here. And I mean, it would be great if I said, oh, do you know, if you sold this as that, and, blah blah blah. You never know where that could go and all that kind of stuff. If we can get the land here, we could build flats, bits of flats and la la. Try and get some houses built and, and obviously You know, you charge a certain amount of rates for certain things. There isn't a lot of businesses along here that are competing with what we're going to be doing soon. As with web design and online companies, there's thousands of them. You know, something different that we want to be doing. Yes, I still love, you know, and like I said with Magic Silver Room and stuff, we'd still do all of that. We've got a place where we can work overnight here if we want. We've got a place, we can do all of that, and we can work from our homes if needs be to do all those things. But I think there's going to be a new set of work, a new way of working. You know, Magic Silver Room will happen, and also I've got other bits and things that I want to do. I'll just make another video discussing that. But the project management's been really hard at the moment. You know, what we might do is we will review everything next month. It's going to be quite early, because we normally review things in July, but it might mean that we might change business. You know, we've had a rough couple of years. We're still paying off loans. Things are very difficult. We've had a very bumpy few years, and we just think, well, do you know what? Let's really have a good couple of years. A good couple of years where we go, that's happening. Let's do that. We're selling houses. Let's do that. You know, and I haven't thought of who's really in the community, who's really out there, who can we use, you know, which people have we got, which people have we not got, you know. There's people buying houses all the time, you know. Let's find something affordable for somebody. It's like when you buy a car, you look for something affordable, second hand. It may not be the best place since sliced bread, but hey, they've got it. And I'm sorry if this video has been kind of educational, me kind of giving my stance on things, but I really don't want to be doing something that I don't think is going to bring in the money. That's my stance on it. And hey, people are into the business monopoly now. They're into where they can get the businesses. They go to certain areas and go, we want a shop here or a pub here. It's got to work, is it? But, you know, I mean, obviously, people buy houses all the time, so it would be great to see what comes of that. Anyway, I was going to make this video a bit more longer, but I'm very tired and this video's been long enough.